Hi, I'm Jean Schumacher, founder of the Plant-Based Academy, where you can connect, get the education, coaching, guidance, and support you need to be successful in a plant-based lifestyle on a private network. I'm here with Dr. Neal Barnard, president of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine and founder of the Barnard Medical Center in Washington, D.C. He's got an amazing book out called The Power Foods Diet. In this book, he covers a breakthrough plan that taps, tames, and burns calories for easy and permanent weight loss. So thank you so much, Dr. Barnard, for taking the time to be with me here today.
Well, thank you, Jean.
So from your book, we've done in our previous videos, breakthroughs and what they mean for you, power foods that power your weight loss, foods that are less healthful than you'd think, and those weight loss drugs and the impact on you.
Yeah, and now really, I have to say, Jean, is the time to incorporate this into your routine. Because, I mean, let's face it, we're going to eat. We're going to have breakfast, we're going to have lunch, we're going to have dinner. Each one of those times, and all the snacks that we might have in between, that's an opportunity. It's either a chance to stay on a not so good path or to get on a much healthier path where we're taking the power foods. We know what they can do. We're going to put them to work.
I love that. But Neal, where the $1,000,000 question is, where do I begin? So I've got this analogy. This is great. Hear me out. Wizard of Oz, Dorothy. She's in black and white, right? Reality. And then all of a sudden something happens. Her health changes. Think along those lines, this analogy. And she lands in this world of color, her new reality. No GPS, no cell service, right? She just wants to get home or healthy. So they're like, go see Oz. He knows. He's got the answers. And along this journey, you're going to be encountering witches that are going to be throwing fire bombs at you. And then you've got, oh, let's not forget the winged monkeys. They're going to pick you up and take you in the wrong direction. And I compare that to like paleo or keto, kind of things like that. So to help us along our yellow brick road journey, where we begin, talk to us about what you offer at the Barnard Medical Center to help us on that yellow brick road.
You bet, Gene. I have to say, I like your analogy because there are challenges along the way. I mean, the yellow brick road is kind of winding. And as you said, there's all kinds of things that are going to come up, even some a little bit hostile. But she's in a great place. It's a world of color and there are things to take advantage of. It's just a question of how do I do this in a sensible way so that I get away from the bad stuff and get the good stuff in front of me and as part of my routine. At the Barnard Medical Center, which is our clinic here, or also in our research studies, we see people who are all on their own yellow brick road. They're thinking, I know I want this, but I don't know where to begin. We break it into steps and it becomes so easy. I've never seen anyone unable to do this. And let me just kind of give you an idea how we do this. Somebody comes in and they've got a lot of issues. They might have diabetes, they've got a lot of weight to lose, their cholesterol is up, their blood pressure is up, their digestion is not going well, their mood is not going so well, lots of issues and not a lot of hope necessarily. But what we're going to say is stop. We know what the healthy foods are. We know how they work. Let's put them to use. Step one is just 7 days. Okay, what do I do for 7 days? I take a piece of paper and I'm going to write on that paper breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. It's blank paper otherwise. And I'm going to say over the next 7 days, fill out this page with foods that you would actually like. The power foods, which ones do you like? I want them to be plant-based foods, healthy foods, but I want to make sure that you actually do like them. So the person might say, okay, for breakfast right now, I don't have any time. I just have a bowl of cereal. Okay, fine. Let's say it's a bowl of cereal with almond milk, plant-based. If you like it, you write it down. And then we just think through the possibilities for breakfast, for lunch, and dinner. Within 7 days, people have a huge, long list of things that are good and healthy. They genuinely like. They have a chance to even try them if they might be new. That's step one. Step two is after I've gone through my step one of a week. Step two is 3 weeks. During this 3-week period, I'm going to have my foods be as powerful as possible. I'm going to throw out the stuff that doesn't love me back, all the animal products and all this stuff, leave them out. But it's only 3 weeks, so it's doable. And I'm going to incorporate the power foods as much as I can in every meal. After 3 weeks, you think, wow, that's kind of easy because I already have my list. It's really simple to do. But I noticed something. The scale is changing. I'm losing weight. I feel lighter. My digestion is better. But the other thing that happens virtually every time. A person is not only seeing physical changes, but they're also discovering their tastes are changing. Their desire for fatty stuff. You haven't had chicken wings in 3 weeks. You don't care. You're not missing them. And that is a little sort of a taste retraining process that has occurred because they just haven't had the not so good foods over a 21-day period. That is neurologically the amount we need. This is 2 simple steps. Go through it. They hopefully bring their spouse, partner, parent, child, whoever they're eating with, bring them in together. And then they'll invariably say, let's do another week. Let's keep going. I want to keep doing this. Then the benefits just grow and grow and grow and grow. So break it into steps, do it. Take a week to figure out the foods you're going to like. Take 3 weeks to sort of do a test drive. And then after that, it's really easy.
You make it sound so simple. You do.
It is simple. I got to tell you, it really is.
Well, I think in all the videos that we've done, this is the first time we're talking food. And I just love that you discuss great meal ideas in the book and break it down into several types. So share your breakdown categories and why you separated them that way.
Well, this is really important. When I'm doing either a lecture to a live audience or talking to our participants in a research study or whatever, not everybody wants to become a junior gourmet chef. I would say half the people say, I just don't really cook much at all. I don't have time. I don't have the inclination or whatever. So, okay, fine. I want to make choices that work for you. And then the other half, they say, I'm pretty comfortable in the kitchen, but I don't feel like living here. I want to make the foods and be done. So when I worked with Dustin Harder and Lindsay Nixon to make the recipes, we broke them into 3 categories. One category is called easy foods. So there is a recipe. You're going to work from the recipe, but it's pretty few ingredients. You'll be in, you'll be out, it's done. Now, the next category is what I call convenient foods. And these are ones for people who are totally allergic to being in the kitchen at all. And so it's sort of combined things or something you can pick up at the store. Really requires no work whatsoever. And then I have another category I call elegant. And it's foods with a little just extra something. They're still not difficult, but this is where I take my French toast, which is easy, with the blueberry syrup, which is easy, but put a mint leaf on it, or a little bit of confectioner's sugar powdered over the top, or 3 different bowls of berries, just to impress your friends who are coming over for your Sunday brunch. So the easy ones are kind of the usual, that's the default. The convenient ones are for when you got just no time, no inclination. And the elegant ones are when you want to just impress people. So those are our 3.
Yeah. I love that. I really do. It was brilliant that you came up with that breakdown there. So you focus on everyday foods and how simple tweaks can up their nutrition and health power. So let's start with some easy breakfast ideas. Go.
Okay, cereal is my go-to thing. That's sort of Americana. That's not so bad. To make it plant-based, take out the cow's milk, put in almond milk, soy milk, whatever it may be. Extra points for soy milk, by the way, because that's really one of the ones that works really well, except for coconut milk. Skip that high in saturated fat. Okay, let's take one more step. I'm going to cook oatmeal. Okay, haven't made oatmeal since I was a kid. Gets the old-fashioned oatmeal. It cooks up in just minutes. It's fine. And I'm going to splash on milk. Okay, almond milk, plant-based milk. Or how about I go for berries? I'm going to put some blueberries on top, some raspberries, some strawberries. This is not rocket science. It's easy to do. But a bowl of oatmeal topped with berries, a little bit of cinnamon. Okay, what am I doing? I'm putting the power foods, the cinnamon, the berries. I'm bringing them in. Okay, so I want to have my French toast. Everybody's favorite weekend breakfast. Have it with the blueberry syrup. Absolutely delicious. If you want to have pancakes, it's going to be a plant-based pancake batter. But now I want my topping to be all the power toppings. We already know what those are, whether it's the blueberry syrup or the different kinds of berries or something like that. Now, extra credit. Not everybody is quite ready for this stuff, but a lot of people discover that if they include greens in their breakfast, they get a little extra energy kick later in the day and a little bit of good nutrition. Now, lest a person think, what are you talking about? I can't have asparagus for breakfast. You know what? You can. When you went to Denny's, they made you an asparagus omelet. Or, they put spinach, they put greens in the plate, but they drench them in cholesterol-laden eggs. So just take those greens and have them separate. Cover them with a little bit of Bragg aminos or a little bit of rice vinegar, something like that. It's a nice little added touch. So that'll get you started.
Well, I have to say, I used to live in the South and I used to love my grits. And there's a recipe for cheesy grits and bacon. I'm like, you're kidding, right? And it was like foods that I had, like my grits from the South. It was like, ooh, except you're using portobello mushrooms and barbecue sauce and nutritional yeast and onions to get that flavor. And it was like a blast from the past because it was absolutely delicious. And the French toast, oh my gosh. Well, you got to have the right bread. That I'm just going to say that right from the get-go. That makes the French toast is the right bread. But the cinnamon blueberry sauce, it was easy and delicious. Just saying. I'm going to be adding that to my menu, especially, when I'm traveling, I'll take that syrup with me. It was delicious.
And people could do it different ways. Somebody might say, I want it all. You could do it with almost just pureed blueberries practically, or you could sort of do 50-50 blueberries, maple syrup. You do it any way you want to. It's a power food no matter how you do it.
Oh, it was great. Well, let's talk about ideas for lunch and dinner. Our personal favorite here, at least for my husband, I think we're on week, I don't know, 497 of making this. It's Mexican lasagna. And because I'll say to him, what do you want for lunch this week? And he's like, Mexican lasagna. And I'm like, I can make other things. No, I'm good. Next question. So he's got his down. So I make this all the time and it's just super easy. You take some salsa, like a jar of salsa, half of it goes on in the first layer, then some tortillas so it doesn't stick to the bottom. Then I put in the Cuisinart, food processor, 2 cans of beans that were drained, any beans, whatever you like, black beans, pinto, kidney, whatever. Put that in the Cuisinart and let it go until it's into like a creamy base. And I usually add a little bit of like the rest of that jar of salsa. I will add that just to give it a little bit more flavor. Put that on, then a layer of corn tortillas. Then they have this tomato-less, salsa-less corn salsa thing at Trader Joe's, or there's the cowboy caviar. Say that 3 times fast. Anyway, that's the next layer. And if you don't have a Trader Joe's near you, you can use frozen corn and salsa, whatever. And then another layer of corn tortillas, and then a layer of salsa. Pop that baby in the oven for 350 for a half an hour, 45 minutes, and it's delicious. Oh my gosh. And that makes 6 portions. We cut it up and put it into dishes, and he's got lunch for 6 days. Super easy. What's your fave?
Gene, is that one of the ones that gets a little bit better on the next day? Because when the ingredients kind of think about it in the refrigerator?
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I'll tell you, I have one that's a little bit like that. The one I'm thinking about is Southwest chili with cornbread. And it's so super easy. You'll take a pan, heat up some vegetable broth, and then I'll put in a little onions and garlic. Not a lot of broth, just a little bit to keep it from sticking. And you saute the onions, the garlic, bell peppers, jalapenos. And I will add a little chili powder and a little cumin. Not a lot. I don't think a little cumin goes a long way. And then put in black beans, put in some diced tomatoes, some of these fire roasted corn, stir it up. Easiest thing in the world. It becomes this killer chili. If you want it to be even faster than that, you can actually use a salsa instead of sauteing the tomatoes and stuff and so forth. There's plenty of commercial things. And once in a while, I'll get a little fancy. I'll add some mushrooms to the top and other different toppings. And then I'll have it with a lot of cornbread on the top. And somehow between the beans and the little zip in the chili and that cornbread, which is a mixture of just hearty and a little bit of sweetness in there, it's such a great luncheon for me and sometimes for dinner too.
That's a good one. I like that. Yeah. Who doesn't like chili? Come on, please.
Yeah. And this is a great one. So totally healthy as well.
I tried that one pot cauliflower piccata pasta. Oh, that was good. That was an elegant dish. The question in my house is that a make again? And that was like a thumbs up. That was a make again. I haven't had a chance yet, but the title says it all. Chickpea pot pie stew with herbed polenta dumplings. That was another elegant dish. I haven't tried that one yet, but that says it all right there. Let's talk soups. What are your favorite soups?
Well, I have always been a real butternut person. There's a chipotle butternut squash soup that is just creamy, delicate, delicious, real hearty soup. You just take a butternut squash, you cube it up, you throw it in the oven, it cooks itself, but let it roast for a half hour or so. Let it just kind of do its thing because it's sort of caramelizing. Then as that's kind of drawing to a close, take a pan and you're going to now saute your onions and your garlic and a little bit of chipotle. Really easy, really quick, really simple. I often think that the secret to a dish that is really delicious is simplicity. And the reason that I'm saying that is that sometimes the simplicity is what allows the natural flavor of the primary ingredients to express themselves without getting lost. So if a butternut squash has a beautiful delicacy and a healthfulness, I don't want to combine it with a whole bunch of other wacky stuff. Just enough to let it express itself, but keep it fairly simple.
Add to that the Honeycrisp apple. I'll cut that up and then blend that. That takes it to Jedi level, just saying.
And the sweetness that comes from that is not the sweetness that you get from a box of Domino sugar. I don't want to overuse the word elegant. It's what nature had in mind when Mother Nature said, let me show you what sweetness can really be.
Yeah. Oh, I love soups. I could eat them all year long, for sure. But let's move on to salads because they're, and I love this because people think like that's all you eat is salads. And it's like, their idea is like the iceberg lettuce, a slice of cucumber, you get the cherry tomato, and if you're lucky, you get black olive. My daughter and I used to fight over the black olive. But salads are just, there's so much variety to them. Oh my gosh. And I tried the chilled pasta primavera salad, easy on your scale, and it's perfect for summer. And then the next one I can't wait is the scalloped potatoes. I can't wait to try that. That was an elegant dish. But what's your favorite salad?
When it's a hot summer day, my favorite salad is one that nobody has ever tried, and it's a cucumber aramay salad. Now, in North Dakota, nobody knows what aramay is. Aramay is a seaweed, but it's not like the nori seaweed around a sushi roll. It's really fine, delicate little seaweed. You take a cucumber, slice it in half, and then scoop out all the seeds and then slice it up, spread it out, put a little salt on top, not a lot, just a little bit, make it start to kind of perspire, and then you'll put a little lemon juice, a little seasoned rice vinegar, and the aramay seaweed goes on top and adds sort of a depth to this. And let it sit there and think for a little while. And then you're going to serve it on top of butter lettuce leaves. Put the lettuce on a plate and put the little cucumber aramay bits on top. On a hot summer day, it is the most delicate, delicious salad. Now, let me go back to the science, though. You're thinking, this is really unusual. This is nice. It's delicate. It's delicious. Yes. But the doctor in me also says you just got the world's greatest source of iodine in seaweed. And iodine goes to your thyroid gland, which about 20 minutes after you've eaten, your thyroid gland says, okay, now I've got the iodine that I needed. Now I can boost your metabolism. It's a power food. Okay, so this is a Japanese tradition. It's a great thing. This is part of the reason why you never see an iodine deficiency in Japan. You just don't see it. But in Topeka, you might. So try my cucumber aramay salad. It is absolutely out of this world.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, Mr. Buzzkill, you killed my avocados, in the other previous videos. Just saying, you took the joy out of that. But I circled back after I thought about this for a while. What else can I put on my toast? Because you don't want to be putting jam on there that's high in sugar kind of things. I came up with banana butter. Okay. So take a banana, mash it up, and the riper it is, the better this is. Mash it up, which is the fork, then add the Ceylon cinnamon, a power food, a little bit of nutmeg, and mix that up. And boom, you've got banana butter now. And that just spreads on nice and smooth and easy. And boom, you're getting the good nutrients, right? So
Gene, it's funny that you would say that because, a lot of people are used to, let's say they make pancakes. And a pancake is not a pancake without a big dollop of butter on top, But if a person takes just what you do, take a banana, and just like you said, the riper it is, the better, and you slice it up and put those little banana discs on top of your pancake. And you can put your blueberry syrup or whatever it is on top. The banana, for some reason, thinks it's a pat of butter, and it will work. Don't take my word for it. Try it. You'll see.
Great minds. That's all I got to say, right? Think alike. All right, let's talk about eating out because who doesn't like to eat out? I mean, honestly, it's a nice break or if you're traveling, whatnot. But one of my tips is to call ahead. There's a restaurant in New York City called Blue Smoke. It is the antithesis of how we eat. I mean, just it's southern, fried, everything, the wrong kinds of foods that we're supposed to eat. But a group of us were going there. I did not pick the restaurant. So I called ahead and said, our group is coming, and I eat whole food plant-based, but salt, oil, sugar free. What can you do for me? And after she stopped laughing, because like you're not coming here to this restaurant for that. She says, well, our chef does like a challenge, so I'll let chef know and see what he can do. And I said, whatever he comes up with, I'm fine. I have no allergies, whatever he can do, I'm great. It was the best meal I've ever had at any restaurant, period. I personally went back and said, that was amazing. And everybody kept looking at my plate going, hey, how'd she get that? And I'm like, mine? Mine? No, you can't have any. But it was the best. So calling ahead, if you can give the chef time, if you know where you're going and you can give the chef time to know and look up some recipes and plan ahead, they're happy to go above and beyond and see if what they can come up with for you. Another tip that I have is to look at Facebook and see if there's a plant-based group in that city, either from like PCRM now has the healthy communities, but also like on Facebook, if like there's a town or city, I know there's Facebook Providence, a plant-based Providence. So, looking at that town to see if there is, asking on the group, hey, do you guys have any options? What are the best restaurants? People are going to know where to go and what restaurants are going to be able to make things for you. So that's another tip. The other thing is I'd like to use that app Happy Cow, especially if I'm going to a place where I don't know, where I'm going or what I'm doing, kind of thing. And so that's another choice there that gives you options. What are your tips for eating out?
Tip number one, remember, chefs are people too. Which means that yes, there are some chefs who are too busy and they got personal problems and supply issues and they don't want to challenge, but there are plenty who do. And I learned this. I'm here on Wisconsin Avenue in Washington, D.C. This is where the Physicians Committee office is. I go out my front door and I walk down a few blocks. There is a restaurant that I never went into because it's called the Steak and Egg Kitchen. It's been there for decades, and you know what they serve? Steak and egg. So one day I went in and I said, my office has been here for 30 years. If a person was following a plant-based diet and they came in here, what would you serve them? And the cook behind the counter said, sit down. And he turned his back and he took a plate and he grilled up some asparagus. And because I guess they had it for omelets, and he grilled up some asparagus and made it absolutely perfect. I think he put it on the grill, put a cover on it so it became out just delectable. Then he grilled some tomatoes, grilled some mushrooms. He had some veggie sausage. Don't ask me how, but he had it along with some rye toast, no butter. And he said, what do you think? And I thought, darn, you're good. So chefs are people too. Some of them may not want to help, but many of them really do. And they want to provide something good for you. So it never hurts to ask. That's tip one. Tip two, think international. Okay, between here and the Steak and Egg Kitchen, I got an Italian place. Now, an Italian restaurant, they've all got spaghetti and they can cover it with ground beef sauce, but they can cover it with tomato sauce. They might call it marinara. They might have an arrabbiata sauce, which is a little spicy, but they've got it. They got pasta fagioli. They've got lentil soup. They got minestrone. They've got all the grilled vegetables for the side. These are traditions. They've all got them. Across the street, there's a Chinese place. Rice dishes, vegetable dishes, tofu dishes. If you think international, you are going to find treasures that the other parts of the world have sorted out. And they often have their own particular staple that is almost invariably plant-based, whether it's the wheat pasta in Italy, whether it's the rice in Asia or Latin American restaurants. It can be pinto beans, it can be black beans, say like in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, black beans with corn tortillas and so forth. Out of this world, veggie fajitas, extra points for Japanese, because you go to the sushi bar, skip the fish sushi, and have the cucumber roll or asparagus roll, the sweet potato roll, whatever it is. It's wrapped in nori, which power food, of course. They also are not big on grease in a Japanese restaurant. They don't use a lot of oil typically. So they've got edamame, they've got seaweed salads, they've got the rolls, all great. And when I say think internationally, I'm also talking about, say, a fast food place. No, Taco Bell is not the pinnacle of culinary art, but it was inspired by a place that at least knew what a bean was. So let them make you a burrito or a taco, keep the cheese off of it. Even those options can be improved. So chefs are people too. Ask, see what they can give you, and think international.
All right, I got one more for you.
Uh-huh.
Think we took a trip. We were in Bennington, Vermont, fabulous town, and we had a lot of vegan choices and options, but and we went and we ate out a couple of times, but we actually found a whole market, like it wasn't Whole Foods, like the store chain. It was like that. It was like a co-op. And I had the best food there. Oh my gosh. So we just continued going there for our meals instead of eating out at restaurants. So in finding supermarkets, I know Whole Foods Market has, salad bars and things like that, which is a great option when you're on the road. And just going into those places, you can get a good meal, without question. So
It's fast food, but done right. I was recently in St. Paul, Minnesota. I had a speaking gig. I was on the road. I thought, where am I going to stop? And there was a market there that had a big salad bar, a cold salad bar and a hot salad bar. I went in, got my stuff, waited, paid for it, out the door in 2.5 minutes. Yeah, it's fast, but it's 100% healthy.
right? I love it. Well, this wraps up our series on the Power Foods Diet Book. You can find these interviews as well as the others on my YouTube channel, Gene Schumacher, Simply Plant Based. And you can check out the other series with Dr. Barnard on his books, Your Body in Balance, Power Food for the Brain, and The Cheese Trap. Thank you so much, Dr. Barnard, for your time, your amazing research, insights, and incredible knowledge.
Oh, thank you, Jane. It's been really fun talking with you.